Good morning, everybody. It is the Savagestacker. I am exhausted today. First off, I want to show those two. First off, thank you everybody for coming by. I really truly appreciate your views lately. It's been amazing, and all the comments and stuff. I haven't been able to get back to everybody's comment. I drive for a living, so I really shouldn't be looking at my screen. But I've been trying to get back to a few, and so if I missed a bunch of you, I know I have. I apologize, and I will try to get to your comments. I got one day off this week, and been working 10 and 12-hour days every day. So, hey, it is what it is at this point. Trying to do a YouTube channel and kids and family and work and all this stuff is, it gets challenging. All right, let me show everybody these two very beautiful walkers that I got when I picked up these this roll of mixed halves here. I forgot to show them in yesterday's video, and I apologize for that, but let's go here. When I first picked this up, it was facing like that, and I thought it was a 1/2 ounce round. I thought it was fake because it was such good shape. I'm not going to get it to zoom in any better, but if you look at it under a microscope, kind of a weak stamp there, but it has all of its feathers. There is a little tiny bit of wear, not much, I mean barely. And she has a full face and everything. I mean, this is barely circulated. This one is a little more circulated than the other, but it has a lot of the lines in there. You can see there's a little bit of a line there, but pretty nice. But this other one is a 1933 San Francisco, and this one has no wear. It has some toning, it has some dirty spots on it, but you notice there's no line really down the middle. If you look at it with a microscope, I have a microscope, there's no wear in here at all, not in her face. Full feathers on the back, and it's a pretty good strike as well. That's what I was trying to figure out, strike. There is some toning, a little bit of dirty stuff going on there, but it is fully there, which is crazy. And it's also an off-center strike, or double strike doubling on it in some spots. I thought it was double die for a minute, but it's not. It's strike doubling, but it's kind of cool. I mean, it's not really giving it much more value, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, two very, very, very nice walkers, which I found in that little bucket of 90% that he pulled out for me, and I got to go through it, and I didn't even know I grabbed this one. I knew I grabbed this one. This one here is a 1940 San Francisco, and this one is a 1933 San Francisco, which I believe is the first year after they quit making them for a couple years. I believe, if I read that correctly. So this one I'm keeping separate because that coin actually in a really good grade is worth like $1,500. This one in a really good grade is worth about, I think, like $200 or something. So pretty cool, pretty cool. The hits keep on coming when it comes to constitutional silver. I have gotten pretty lucky. Like, I got a full-fledged double die in this 1963 quarter right here. It is a FS 801. That is all doubled, and it's doubled good. You're not going to be able to see it here. I'll have to pull that out. I got a video on it. It's called Why I Like to Stack Constitutional Silver or Junk Silver, and you can go check that out. And it shows all the doubling. And now this thing is a pristine BU. There's like a couple little bag marks on the front of this thing right there and right here, and that's it. I mean, this thing it's pretty pristine, and it's double die. So that one is from buying a BU roll of 1963 quarters from my the same LCS. So the hits keep on coming, like free extra money right there. Pretty cool. All right, let's get into. So I was gonna make a video about prepping today, but I'm not going to. It's just too much stuff to take out, and I'd like to have a full weekend to be able to pull it all out, get it organized, and talk about why and what I do, and then probably next weekend I'll show people how to bucket up or Mylar bag up and bucket up rice and beans for long storage. So I'll do that. All right, this is going to be kind of a long video, I'm guessing, because it's already 5 minutes in and I haven't even got started yet. So this is some of my older stuff. Let's pull it out and stack it up like I do. All right, so what I want to talk about is credit. Getting yourself out of debt, not buying metals with your credit cards, and keeping yourself out of credit. And you should be out of debt before you start stacking. And I was able to achieve that. But I didn't. I started stacking before I got myself out of debt, and quickly realized that it'd probably be a lot better if I just, kept myself out of debt, not use my credit cards, and things like that. So I'd like to say I've done it perfectly or the right way, but that's not always true. But what I have seen a couple of my friends in the community do, and I'm not saying it's the wrong way. I know what they're doing. They're trying to use debt as a way to make them money, which is, Robert Kiyosaki's thing to do when it comes to making money is use debt. But what I have seen happen is I've seen people lose their jobs. I've seen the economy tank a bit, and I've seen interest rates go up, and I've seen things happen to where they weren't able to go back and pay off their credit cards. And that can happen in the form of breaking your leg on the job, not being able to work. That can happen in the form of multiple things. The economy tanking, your job ended, and if you think that you're stable in your job, let me tell you, it can be taken from you at a blink of an eye, because that has just happened to my family, and it shouldn't have, but it can happen. And so things can change abruptly. So my suggestion is not to be stacking precious metals using your credit cards. If you're using your credit cards to buy precious metals, make sure that you do small amounts and that you're able to pay it off right away if you're trying to just use it to get the points or whatever. Not one piece of gold or silver in my collection has ever been purchased with a credit card. My bank card, yes, but not a credit card. And I have some cash put up. I have some powder dry. I know that I could pay that off if I needed to. But if I get into the routine of using my credit cards, it's going to be that much easier later on down the line, and I don't want to put myself into credit card debt over precious metals, because it's just defeating the purpose of why I'm doing this, right? I'm trying to stack up real wealth here, not fake, loaned, borrowed money that's going to cost me, 24% down the line. So, this is like my favorite bar. God, she's sexy. They really outdid themselves when they came out to the Una and the Lion, the Three Graces, all the Royal Mints bars are just fantastic. I mean, I don't know what to say. Look at that. She's so beautiful. So amazing. All right. So, yes, I've had a couple friends recently. They have really outdone themselves, never thinking that there would ever be an issue. And it happens. Things happen, and you aren't able to pay your card. Things that are not even in your control. And you end up just kind of in trouble with credit. And now I've seen people have to sell their precious metals to pay those credit cards off. If you have the money to pay your credit cards off, I would just pay them off and then buy precious metals. You know, one thing I know about stacking is that it's like pressure and time, right? The longer you do it, the more steady you are doing it with a budget, the more you stack, right? If we were able to stack all at once, it'd be a huge chunk of money. And if you don't have the funds and you need to pay off credit debt, pay off debt, period, do that first and then start your stacking. It's not going to, stacking's always going to be here. The metals is always going to be here. It ain't going nowhere. I know they say we're in a shortage, but it will be here. You might have to pay more for it later on, but it's going to be there. You don't get overexcited unless you just have all your cash out of the bank and you have the cash and there's a great deal on there or something that pulls back super crazy and you buy, a couple bars or something and you pay it right off. It's no big deal. But if you're every month you're buying, $3 or $4 grand worth of metals on your credit card and you're paying only half of it off and you're stacking debt, you're just hurting yourself in the end. You're going to have to end up selling some metals or robbing Peter to pay Paul type deals to just, pay off your debt, which sucks. I am completely out of debt. It took me years to do that, and I'm very grateful that I am. And I need to start using my credit cards a little bit. That way, it's not negative on my credit. But once I got it all paid off, I'm afraid to use it. So. Basic idea here is just to keep yourself out of debt, get yourself out of debt before you start stacking heavy. If you need to get a little bit of metals here and there, do what you're gonna do. That's what I did. I was, put this towards my credit, put this towards my stacking, and this towards that, and this towards that, and bills and all that. And then eventually I said, you know what? This month, instead of buying 2 10-ounce bars, I'm gonna just pay this credit card off, right? I'm going to pay off this car loan. I'm going to pay off, that's what I did. So I could be, and that month goes by quick. And then you're stacking the very next month, So 2 things. Don't start using credit to stack because you're just, if you get out of control, because this can get very addicting, and you start stacking too much because you have a nice $10,000 limit, you're just hurting your stack later on. And then if you're stacking a lot of metals and you're not paying off your credit card debt or any debt, that's hurting your scores or your family, period. Just take some of that and pay off a little extra, or just stop stacking altogether for a minute and pay off all your credit card debt or all your debt, period. And resume after you're done. It's not, like I said, it takes time to build this up, and it takes time to get rid of that debt. So just take a pause, pay all that stuff off, then get back into this. It's going to be here for you. I promise. All right, let's see what I got here. I got myself a brand new. I just got this tube right here, and it fits 21 ounce. It's huge. I have another one for my 10th ounce. It's quite small. And I got this thing. I was like, geez, that thing's girthy, right? Girthy. But I just got this last night. Boom. Nice little 2022 Buffalo. That is number 11 added to the stack in the Buffaloes. And then I got number 12 coming in. It'll probably be here in a week. I went bought it off Monument when we had that big pullback a couple days ago. So still stacking the gold, still stacking the silver. Try to keep yourself out of credit card debt or out of any kind of debt. I understand the house, the car, we need those things to get to work and live, but I wouldn't suggest stacking using your credit cards. It can turn into a problem very fast, and the economy can take a tank any moment. You can lose your job, you can get hurt at work, you can get a lot of things could happen to change your status in your job, and then you're stuck with credit card debt or selling your stack just to pay off that stuff, and then it was pointless stacking in the first place. Especially if you get attached to this stuff, right? Like if you get attached, like this one right here, like I don't want to get rid of that. This one right here, I don't want to get rid of this. Now what if I got myself in a debt, wife is on me, and I had to sell that stuff and I'm attached to it. I'm not gonna want to stack no more. I'm gonna start thinking, man, there's no point, right? So just be careful out there. Don't be getting yourself into a bunch of credit card debt over stacking. Pay that stuff off. Don't use your cards. Thank you everybody for coming by. It is a Savagestacker. What are you guys stacking right now? Are you stacking gold? Are you stacking silver? Have you paid off your debt? Are you debt free? Do you got a little ways to go? Let me know down in the comments. Please hit that bell icon to get updated on my latest videos. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. The Savagestacker is over and out.